As sure when the alcohol finish, he drink some alcohol rub and saying it's liquid for his sore muscles. Papi was insisting he was taken into the river by Tijin. And Uncle Don, not wanting to be party of such rumors, and thus trying hard to persuade Boy zombies didn't exist, said, Papi, we know you're drunk and you're seeing things. Come. Let me take you to the hospital for a checkup. The gaping wound was prominent when they finally rescued Papi from the river. The shirt tied to his head was perfect in construction. It was a miracle. Uncle Don confessed that Papi was still alive. On their way home, unsteady over the bumps in the unpaved dirt tracks, amidst the whip striking the donkey, Boy looked back into the rustling cane fields and wondered. Papi must be really meet up with Mama Glow Boy. He must meet up with Tijin. How he get that bandage on his head? And how he get on top of the rocks from the bamboo floor when I left him there? Following the story of Papi and Boy, Tall Tip's mother kept her away. Tall Tips cried in fright that night when she arrived home, so she was banned from other storytelling sessions. Talk around the neighborhood was that Papi was confusing them children too much, and they agreed that if it's so, it's so, and he should just say so and stop telling lies about what is his experience as opposed to others. Moose's mother tried to ban him from attending other sessions, but Moose, being Moose, jumped through the bedroom window to attend. I was not sure why the adult population kept feeling negative about Papi's stories, or why it would be such a problem for a parent to keep the child away if that's what they really wanted. The more I thought about it, the more I concluded that the older folk maybe didn't want us knowing the truth, so I would definitely keep going. Papi, as far as we were aware, never defended nor admitted he was wrong. If you were interested, he continued to tell you his tales, and so we listened. Chapter 10, Pond Water Crossing. You know, children, alcohol can really get you into trouble, and there were many situations.
But if I do, would you catch me now? Take the whole thing from beginning. Press rewind and things would come revealing with all the hit fancy lights and glamour. Autograph to please you, eager, yeah. You don't know what's up with me. Can't find food to feed my family. My life is like an open book. Turn a page, come take a look. Oh, walk a mile in my shoe. You would feel what I'm feeling. From where I'm standing, things don't look too good. No. Come and walk a mile in my shoes, and you would feel what I'm feeling. From where I'm standing, things don't look too good. No. Gotta make a move real fast. Take my life to the future from the past. In my hands, I gotta take it slow. There are things I like to know. I've been mistreated.
Good morning, good afternoon to you of our sister Sandra.
Greetings, good morning, Brother Aston.
Welcome.
Good morning, Blacknificent family. Or good afternoon, Blacknificent family. It's morning for me, so hey. Sometimes you get confused.
Is it?
Yes, yes, yes.
Well, you have space to be confused. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So how are you this morning? How's your grand risings this morning?
Hey, it's been busy, busy.
Mm-mm.
A lot has been done, put in place, and I know that today is going to be for me a busy one. Just getting
Oh,
some work done
mm,
on the house because living so close to the sea. Well, it's not.
mm,
It's close because it's 15 minutes either way. You can get to sea water.
yeah.
Um, you've got the salt
Mm.
that does actually
Corrode and
corrode. Yeah,
yeah.
so it's just to be mindful then to how to things just need to be upkept.
Mm.
So had the power washer out yesterday. We'll have it out today for the roof, and then working downwards from there. So yeah, being busy.
Okay. So you're gonna be up on the roof.
No, I'm not going to be up on the roof, but it's interesting having conversations with individuals, the tradesmen out here, and hearing um, about their challenges.
Mm.
And to me, sometimes their challenges, I think to myself, okay, if you've got a customer who is able to pay, willing to pay, wants to pay, why is it that you can't negotiate whereby you do a job and it will start on a Monday, for
Mm.
argument's sake, and finish on a Friday,
Mm.
rather than do 3 jobs in that week and nobody's happy
Mm.
because you're
Just
um,
chasing paper.
yeah, or they do a little bit here and come here for an hour, then go somewhere else and go
Mm.
there for an hour, and then make an excuse, come back to you so that they needed something and they didn't get it. And you're thinking, but in your journey to me, you had to pass how many hardware stores
Mm.
in order to get what you know you needed, and you reach
Mm.
my yard, and then you tell me that you need to leave again in order to get something. To me, that don't make sense. To me, that's just an excuse to give you an
It's called,
opportunity of going out and
it's called,
doing the other
it's
job.
called part-time hustle. Part-time hustling.
Well, they're allegedly they're the professionals. They're the
Mm.
professionals, but I know that
Yeah.
in relation to what they were doing for a cousin 3 months
Mm.
later, and that they've not finished, and you think to yourself, there's no reason why, if that
So
was
why are you
your
using their
sole.
service? Why are you using their service if
Well,
they don't finish the
I'm not
one
using
job?
them. I'm not using them. I'm not using them. But it's just a conversation I was having with somebody, a cousin who's literally gone back to the States because their house was being fixed for the last 3 months and it's still not finished. And you ring them and sometimes they pick up the phone and sometimes they don't. And if they don't pick up the phone, I'll be here at 7 o'clock, and 7 o'clock come and go, and it becomes 7 o'clock the next day. And you're thinking, okay, they didn't specify whether it was 7 o'clock Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. So we allow them. So it's just. But in speaking to someone, he did say that if you're a good contractor, what you'd normally do is have 2 or 3 jobs on the go.
Yeah.
But
Hold on. I have to give out a thing because I've just seen a call that was coming in, and if the caller would like to call back, I'm sure we'll be able to catch him again. So
do you want to give out the numbers just in
yes,
case there's anyone else, and put it
yeah,
across the banner just so that we've got the numbers?
yeah, 0203 289 6504. Actually, let me just do that. You see, you have the terminology and everything now. Wow. Careful. We're gonna have to announce your program. As you have been a host with us on here in the afternoons now, right? How do you feel about that? Actually, like developing your own program, and would I be a guest? You see, hesitation.
No, because the first word that came into my mind is not a politically correct word for a young lady to say.
Host? Why?
No, because I was thinking.
Hostess?
No. The thought that was going through my mind is and if I think about the cartoon characters where you go and then you think, okay, breathe, breathe through it. It was a reasonable conversation. It was a reasonable question. And what's your response?
Okay.
So that was what was going through my mind. That was the pause because I'd played that whole tune through my mind.
Okay. All
So.
right. All right then. All right.
But you're going to give out the number.
Yeah. I did. It says 020
All right. Okay.
289-6504. Text line is 079-47-479-219. Okay, so if you want to interact with us as well, okay. You know, more than ready. Actually, let me just give the details of that that clip that I was playing there for the ancestral voices. As I said, I just wanted to do a lighter one than what we usually do, right? And that's taken from who's that now? Tales of Survival in the Caribbean. Okay, so if you want that clip there, you can get that on the audio book, right? And it's called The Tales of Survival in the Caribbean. You know, so it goes through many poetries and storytellings and all that throughout the whole of the Caribbean, and they have many ones there. But it go boss him head, what him see goes.
But you see how our story can get mixed up.
Yeah.
But I love the imagination. I love the imagination.
Those stories do bring it out.
Yes.
Oh dear.
Yes.
I know, man. I'm sure we have many of those stories, but not as told in a colorful manner.
But the thing is, then it means we've lost the art of storytelling. We just now depend on the movies.
Yeah, movies
or the television for those stories. But historically, and that's what listening to
Gina Chireri.
Yeah. The art of storytelling and what she does and what the program that they've got running this week is to encourage that storytelling and that movement and all things around that. And yeah, we don't do it. Because again, I'm jumping around here, but I was having a conversation with someone yesterday, the same person that's actually going to be coming and doing the work. And I was asking him about his childhood. And he says back in the day, what they would do, they would go out, they'd play marbles, they would run about, jump in the river, whatever, but they'd be outside. So you'd have the opportunities for the storytelling.
Yeah.
Whereas now, if you're looking at a PC or you're looking at a tablet or a phone, you're handing over your right for your upliftment. Someone's on the line.
No. I'm just looking to see if anything come now. Go ahead.
Yeah, you almost hand over the possibility, the responsibility for that engagement to the point whereby you then leave yourself open to any foolishness that anybody else is putting into you. Because even yesterday, my mum was watching the TV and she said, come quick. And I'm thinking, why? What's happening? And on the banner on their program, it was the news, it said breaking news. So she's hearing breaking news and thinking there is obviously something happening somewhere that we need to be mindful of.
Yeah.
But it means then that we give away and we divorce our own potential to discern and to work out what is actually breaking news.
And is it going to concern you directly?
Yeah. So I understand why she called my attention. And if I think back to the Twin Towers and then playing it over and over again, they then had to put a health warning on there so that people didn't think it was 100 planes because they kept on playing it on the loop. So again, we need to be in control of the stories, Manin.
Careful. He might end up on international television, you know. Careful. Yeah.
No, just my neighbour. He's gone for the day, so he's just left me the set of keys
Okay.
to let somebody else in to do the work, so they can do their work.
Mm.
So yeah, so it's just interesting. Like I said, what you played there was around stories
Mm.
and passing down, and it doesn't matter your age, you can still laugh and joke about it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
do we appreciate that? Are we, when the children, when they're looking at the new Disney and the new this and the new Pokemon and the new whatever,
Mm.
what stories are being shared? What stories are being passed down and passed on?
Mm.
And is it a story that's that will full joy them, or is it a story that's going to make them depressed when you look behind the scenes and you look at the images and you think Tom and Jerry and you think to yourself, yeah, that seems harmless. But the images are actually images that help to maintain the state
That's it.
of where we're at.
I mean, who would ever know? Who would ever know? Said that that there was a inherent racist tonification behind Tom and Jerry.
Yes, yes, and we all grew up with it,
Yeah,
and they still insist on showing it.
yeah.
And they've just moved on now to other ones, and you think to yourself, okay, so what are they encouraging us to think about? What are they encouraging us to do?
I know. Like in the UK, is hell on sexuality.
Yeah, and that's where they're going. You think to yourself, hang on a minute, but we need to tell our own stories. We need to, as parents, as guardians, when you're putting your children to bed, I pray that you are putting your children to bed, but that's another conversation. But tell them a story. Make it up. Just make it up. Look at the spoon, look at the light, and just make it up. And go with the flow. Go with your spirit. Your child, the younger person, will appreciate that just as much as, even more so. They just don't understand it as such, but they will appreciate it more than you reading one of the storybooks that is someone else's story, someone else's view of the world, rather than your view of where you want to be, where you'd like to be. I remember coming to Jamaica back in the day and just walking on the street and people saying hi.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, I don't know you. Good morning. I don't know you. Good afternoon. I don't know you. But that's what they do. That's what they do.
I had that. That's the inner city blues. That is. I had that when I first moved out to Essex, Barking, Essex, right? Walking along the man I come, good morning. I go, what the blood fire? Yeah. Who you chat to? I never realized I was like that, but but it's true. It's true. What do people want to come up in my business for?
Yeah. But that's how we're supposed to live. We see one another, we greet one another. Yeah. We don't have to get into each other's business, but what we can do is be polite. Start with that space of I'm walking left, you're walking right. We see each other, we greet each other, we move on. You take away the anger, you take away the frustration, you take away the God eyes down, or looking at me as if to say I've done you something. You're thinking, but hang on a minute. And then I think to myself, you know what? Sometimes I don't even know how you woke up out of bed, whether you got out the wrong side, the right side, or you just levitated out. I don't know. But sometimes you greet someone and they're just in a mindset.
Yep, definitely.
And you think to yourself, maybe a simple hi may help them, but then again, a simple hi may expand the fact that they're in a mindset. So yeah, it's a. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a challenge. What it is sometimes I just have to catch myself and think and hear they don't do it as much here now as they used to. But and I think it's just a younger thing. The younger generation don't do it as much. But the older generation, you walking past an elder, they're quite happy to tell you morning, evening. Sometimes they look in your morning, they don't say nothing, and it's like, who's going to say first? Who's going to say first? Is it going to be you? Is it going to be? I just normally take the angst out of it and say morning. Give them a chance to say, because I know they want to say, but they don't know what the reaction's going to be, so they hold back.
Yeah, but
because it don't.
Well, those who don't know you, they probably would look to you as a stranger anyhow. So
yes,
so you know, in them ways they're curious.
mm.
You know,
Mm.
as you know, people are just roaming around the country right now, and you don't know who is who and what is what. You know, it's unfortunate to say again that is, you know, it's male and female who's the culprits right now. So yeah, man, because what I tell, like every now and then, you know, well, I check on international news and things like this, and like the nature of a lot of the base of crimes that are being committed in like Jamaica, for instance, and throughout the Caribbean, right? You just don't know where it's going to come from, you know. And I do see, and I do feel that there's more female victims now as well, you know, in a lot of the murder cases over there, you know, which is let's say that the honor of women over there are at the moment not being respected. That they literally here, you know, and children as well, and in some cases children, you know. So why? I know that they I think it was a month or a couple of months ago that they changed the law as well, that they were gonna introduce the life for life business over there as well. I don't know if it's been implemented or what, but because of that because it was the fallout of the case where the young man, he murdered the mother and children, and I think it was his family as well, wasn't it? Was it his family? Was it his family? Or
I'm not
the wife, his wife, or his partner and her children. You know.
okay. No, I'm not sure about that I because I know it happens in the UK as well as in Jamaica. I tend to zone out because I want to look at the happier side of Jamaica, and I can talk about a happier side of Jamaica,
No, I understand.
Because one of the distressing, and then you think to yourself, and you talk about women, why is one woman going to pull a knife on another woman for $100? Was it $100 or $1,000? I think it was a silly amount, but there was 100 in it. I can't remember if it's 100 or 1,000. They end up fighting and one killing another. And you think to yourself, one's an elder, as in a big somebody, got sense, to the youth who's not yet reached 18. And you think to yourself, why? What a waste. When she signed up to come into this world, she signed up to come and kill somebody. Because if everything happens on purpose, to me, it just don't make sense. Just don't make sense. But it was. I zone in and out when they talk about crime in JA because, and like I said, to be fair, where I'm in Port Antonio, crime rate is the lowest, has been over the years. And if there is any murder or rape or anything like that, they catch a perpetrator real rapid.
Mm, mm,
So I don't know whether or not the community are more inclined to have those conversations, whereas in Waterhouse, any of the spaces in Kingston and or in St James, Montego Bay, whether or not they're not prepared to because of the gangs and the how they live and the control and the hint of if you talk then the what they call it, the repercussions.
yeah.
I don't know whether or not that stops people or discourages people. I was listening to something which I took down the number and I need to make contact with the young man. The young man is 13 years old, still in high school, and he teaches the youngers.
Really?
So he holds a class at between 3:30 and 4 o'clock every evening, and teaches the youngers. And when they showed him, and they call it a ray of hope, so every day on the news they will talk about a ray of hope of something that's happening within the community. And he says sometimes he talks to, so that means he will save up his money, his lunch money, and buy the pencils and the pens. Sometimes they don't have pocketbook. He will go to the local community and ask for help in terms of pens, pencils, or other exercise book or stuff like that. And they showed him a couple of different scenes. One of the scenes he was doing exercise with them. Another scene he was sitting down there at the front and they were literally at his feet. There must have been at least anything between 8 and 12 young children. And he was reading out of a book, and there was another elder in terms of, I don't know if it was a teacher or his parent or guardian, or one of the children's teachers, parents or guardians was there beside him also flicking through a book. And he says that the reason he does it is because he wants the children to have a chance. And the last thing that he done was pleaded to the gunmen them to give the children, allow them, let them grow up, let them be children, let them enjoy their education. And that was his plea at the end. And I don't know how long he's been doing it, but he says if he gets homework and he gets it in the morning, he does it at lunchtime when the rest of the youth them are out there playing. He does it at lunchtime. And if he gets homework in the afternoon periods, first thing he does once he gets home, he does his homework. So then he's always free in order to do the classes for the youngsters. And these may be youngsters who can't afford to go to school, or these are youngsters who don't have, and we know with young people, they're all on different stages. Some of them may need the extra bit in terms of maths, the extra bit in terms of English, the extra bit in terms of here or there. And a teacher with a class full of 30 children, 35 children, even with the classes as they are in Jamaica, and they do it on shifts, you don't always get the opportunity to get the help that you need. The children don't always get the opportunity. And he's just pouring in. You think to yourself, wow, give the children a chance. Give the young people a chance. And it's just beautiful to see what he's doing, bearing in mind he's in one of those communities where there are factions, there are wars, as in turf, as in individuals who are part of a gang or a group who have close affiliations and they want to take each other out. And you think, no, it's a sad state of affairs. We don't make guns. We don't manufacture guns. And as they find one, another one's found.
Right. So
Another one comes in.
Oh boy, I'm looking at TVJ News. Yeah, yes, it's on there. Yeah.
It was on TVJ's news on. It wasn't yesterday. It was the day before. Oh yeah, it was Tuesday. Yesterday was Wednesday. Yeah, it was Tuesday's TVJ news.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I did write down his number, so I'm going to reach out to him.
Hmm. I see
But
what.
it was just so beautiful what he was doing.
Hmm.
And what he's doing just reminds me, and I think it needs to remind all of us that as bad as it is, and we do get the horror stories, there are things that are out there whereby pockets of people are doing their bit for their community.
Hmm.
They do it in the UK, they do it in London town,
Yes, it
but
does.
they
It's
also do it in
everywhere.
Jamaica.
Yeah, everywhere. There's always those who are willing to do for. You know, one of the things, because like, as I said, one of my experiences when I think it was the first time I went to Jamaica. Never know about this Labor Day business,
Mm,
right?
mm,
So I'm thinking, oh, it's just a bank holiday, and we go on. Bank holiday is a time to just relax and kick back
mm,
and just get the barbecue out, make noise and all them things there.
mm,
Overindulged because it's in the summer, usually in the
mm,
summer, minute.
yeah.
So when it's in the summertime now, you just think, well, if it's summertime now, we're just gonna be relaxing now, get
Mm,
the sunset
mm,
out. When they talk about Labor Day, and I'm thinking, yeah, no, nobody's gonna be doing anything, right?
mm,
And
mm,
one of my little rituals is to go down to get the paper at the corner, right?
mm,
My word. Usually, I'm on holiday anyhow, right?
mm,
But
mm,
I'm walking past people on the way to work,
mm,
and I'm not
mm,
the quickest of walkers,
mm,
right? So they're,
mm,
they're going to work, and I'm thinking to myself that why th- these people ain't gonna be doing nothing.
mm,
Let me tell you something. Everywhere, people are paint up sign.
mm,
People are sweep up road and all
mm,
them things, take up rubbish and all
mm,
them things.
mm,
What they? I
mm,
never ever thought I would ever see this,
mm,
right? That
mm,
people actually come out and do things for their
mm,
community,
mm,
you
mm,
know, which
mm,
was a really, really, really beautiful sight to
mm,
see,
mm,
right? And
mm,
very inspirational as well.
mm,
And it just shows to me that the spirit of generosity, right? Well, it's not even
mm,
generosity, just to be part of your community and to do something active within the community is
mm,
very, very, very strong,
mm,
you know,
mm,
in some of our places.
mm,
And it's mainly because obviously I don't live in that, or never lived in the Caribbean
mm,
in that way. So it wasn't my expectation, you
mm,
know.
mm,
I probably did
mm,
go there with my tainted outlook and view
mm,
of people,
mm,
right?
mm,
And then with the expectation that they would be what a lot of us have experienced from when they've come to the UK,
mm,
right? And
mm,
usually it's the very few anyhow what has the bad attitude and the scamming
mm,
element about them anyhow,
mm, mm,
and it's not the majority of people in any way whatsoever.
mm,
But then again, they probably have that same type of view or generalization view of us as people from the UK anyway. So
mm.
until they actually get to know somebody from the UK in that way, So yeah, yeah.
Well, it was again something I was listening to you talking about in terms of Labor Day. So
Mm,
when I was talking to my cousin, he's working with someone else in terms of doing and the painting and stuff like that, and he says that they don't tend to paint other than at Christmas. But you mentioned Labor Day, so there is another time when they do actually
mm,
paint up their yard and or fix up or brush up or take out,
mm,
like you said, walk with a machete in order to brush up the growth between point A and point B in order to fix it up. But the traditions of the past and the
mm,
traditions of the future,
mhm,
it's not. I don't know. As young people, we're buying into the television. We're
mhm,
buying into that lifestyle. because there was they were talking about some Jamaicans who are going over to Panama in order to get, once you get from Panama, you can then make it across to Mexico. From Mexico, you make it into the States. And the lady, she was in her 50s, and she was talking about why she wanted to do that, because she said there's no opportunity in Jamaica, yada yada, and you get better opportunity in America. And I'm thinking, really? But I don't know whether or not she defined better opportunity in terms of, well, I can get some money that I can send back home, or I'm going to have to work my ass off, because America is not easy. The best of times, we complain about having 4 weeks holiday. America, you got 2, and if you got to make that 2 work for you.
Yeah, 2 weeks holiday.
Yeah.
That's real slave labor.
That is, out of 52 weeks, you only get 2.
Yeah.
And the best willing, that's why they will do their short hops. They'll do their long weekends and go over to, whether it be Hawaii or whether or not one of the other states, or whether or not they'll come to the Caribbean. But if they're coming to the UK and you think to yourself, your family's coming and staying, then they're literally on a clock, because it is a 2-week thing. But she's saying that she wants to go out there because there's no opportunities here. And I know I used to have conversations with my uncle back in the day in terms of, why did you come over? What was it about? So that generation, it was the call in terms of the Churchill call, come and help build up the motherland, yada, yada, yada. And a lot of them said, I'm only going to be there for 5 years. A lot of them stayed a lot longer, as we know. Yeah, that era. But now there's always a thought process wherever you are, that almost like there is something on the other side that you're aiming for. When in theory, and I heard James McNeil say this, and it was interesting because I smile, and I've shared this with you, the Blacknificent family already, in terms of within a training environment, person going around the room and asking everyone, where would you love to live? Where would you want to live? Went around the room of 11 people, everyone telling them where exotic that they want to live, yada, yada. Got to James McNeil, and James McNeil said, Canada. And the trainer's like looking at him cross-eyed as if to say, but you could live anywhere in the world and you'd choose to live here in Canada? He goes, yes, because it's a choice. And it's what do you make with that choice? Just because you run to UK, can't you run somewhere else? As in that lady, she's running somewhere else. Will life be better? If your mindset's not right, life's going to be exactly the same. It's going to be more pressure, because you're going to have to pay for your gas. You're going to have to pay for your light. You're going to have to pay for your telephone. You're going to have to pay for your mobile. You're going to have to pay, and you're going to have to pay, and you're going to have to pay. Why not make it first in your homeland? Go to a different part of the country. If you've got the mindset, you'll make it work. But if you don't have the mindset, all you're just going to do is go and work for someone else to get paid a little bit more money, but at what cost? At what cost?
I hear you.
It means you can eat the fries 24/7. Who wants to eat fries 24/7? Who wants to live off a microwave dish food 24/7?
Exactly.
Who wants to live off of something that's coming from China that may or may not have been produced properly? Who wants to eat something that's GM because they're producing mass amounts? And you've got your natural sunshine. I don't know. I maybe I can talk because I have the opportunity of being in the UK and coming and living in Jamaica and doing that transition. And with the passport I've got, I can potentially apply to go to Canada, potentially apply to go to the US. But the question is, if I go to those places and I've not made it over here, then what am I going into?
Exactly.
What am I going into?
Well, that was part of my talk this morning. Preparation.
Yeah, I know. I heard the talk this morning. I was listening.
You know, because there's many of us who do desire to go to these different places, but we have to make ourselves useful in there.
Yeah.
Right. You know, you go there, see what is available. You might need an income.
Well, you will need an income. You'll need to have some form of exchange whereby what you don't have or can't grow, you can get from somebody else. So there has to be some form of exchange.
Although they say the cost of living is probably different, right? But the fact is that it's still a cost of living. Right? And what our expectations of what we would like or our standards, that costs to live as
Yes,
well.
yes, yes.
If you want both hot and cold running water, that costs.
Yes, yes, yes.
You know?
Either that or you choose to only bathe at middle of the day between the hours of A and B when the water's running warm out of the tap. But we don't have that luxury if you're a working person.
Yeah.
But there is that preparation. And are you doing that? Are you doing the work? Are you doing the preparation? Are you prepared to do the work? Are you prepared to plant a few things in your yard? Okay, I've not got a yard. Recognize that. But plant pot.
It's not
plastic
everybody.
buckle.
It's everybody. Not everybody has those facilities there.
Yeah, but then we drink water out of those plastic bottles. Recycle one of them, cut it in half. One half fill it with dirt and put some thyme in there. Put some seeds for tomatoes. So at least one day you don't have to go to the market and buy. Give yourself the opportunity.
In effect, we should aim to try and feed yourself for at least 3 months from your own produce.
Yeah, do something. Help yourself. Give yourself a hand.
Actually,
and then
in saying that, I'm drinking. What am I drinking? Wheatgrass, spirulina, and what else was I drinking? Another green on there. There was another green. There was another spinach.
Okay. So my question to you is, why are you drinking that?
To bring up my pH level. Balance it out. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So just to re-alkaline myself.
Okay.
Because now that it's getting a bit brighter, I'm getting out into the sun more. So obviously the wrinkled old flesh is not so smooth as it used to be.
Black dog crackers is easy.
Unlike Uno over there, so daylight at night light and daylight and everything light.
and I can honestly say I'm blessed to be able to sit here and.
Yeah, I got a message here. Right, it says, brother, greetings, brother Aston and sister Sandra. Right, that 13-year-old boy is beautiful. He's going to go far in life. Right, so obviously somebody's there, and that's from was it 0600 as well. So, right. So obviously somebody I was able to see that, because the one that I saw there, it was a clip from a few years ago. I don't know.
Okay.
But they said that he's a businessman or something like that. That's
okay.
I saw what came up on my thing here.
On your okay.
I don't know if it was the same one, but
No, because this is literally is something that he's doing now.
Although he was he's doing now.
No, right? I'm gonna reach out to him. I will reach out to him. Definitely reach out to him after our call. No, I can't because he'll be nope. They're on holiday, so I'll reach out to him.
Is it, school feeding a welfare program helps less fortunate students?
No. Because he's not on that. He's asking for help, but they're talking to him as a ray of hope in relation to what he's doing.
Yeah. There's a whole series of them, anyhow.
Okay.
These rays of hope.
Yeah. So this one was played, like I said, Tuesday. So there's a date and timestamp on it.
That's a very, very good catch line, that, Very, very good line. I like that. I like that
What's
one.
that?
Ray of hope.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you know what? Whilst I'm here and I'm thinking to myself, as we develop, I'm thinking about, okay, yesterday I wrote down something in terms of
Mm-hmm.
language is such that it's to be shared
Mm-hmm.
lovingly.
Mm-hmm.
So that word ray of hope, there are other catchphrases that I hear out and I think to myself, okay, I like it. I like it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I do like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
So,
Yeah. Actually, that's a very good one. Well done,
mm.
TVJ. I'm gonna thief that one from you. Like, I'm gonna thief my one. I bet they come with their I bet they come with their meditation. Oh, today's meditation is
No, no, there is they do a midday meditation, and that I've heard them talking about from 1900 and whatever when I've been coming out here from long back in the day. They always do their midday meditation.
yeah, yeah.
But there are other, and I'm gonna write down. I've written them down, but I'm gonna capture them and share them with you next strong. So yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
I do have an idea. Why did I miss out on that one? But yeah, that's that young man, and I would call him a young man. It's just beautiful. So you just want him to have a chance because you say to yourself, okay, show me the child, and I'll show you the man. But to see what he's doing at this moment in time and the lives that he's touching at this moment in time,
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah.
you just say, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. To even say, right, let me show you how to do things now. Like obviously, you know what? Even for what he's doing and offering to those young children,
mm,
right? At least it's a foundation for them.
mm-hmm,
And I'm very sure that they will all be in appreciation of having that initial start and then using that impetus to push themselves forward, because
mm-hmm,
obviously they are starting in the vein of I have to do it for myself in
mm-hmm.
preference to allowing somebody else to do it for me, you know. So
So if he's talking to, and it looked like they were like preschool, so they looked like they were like 4, 5,
mhm,
or 5, 6. I don't think there were any that they didn't look bigger than 7, even though they did say they were younger children.
mhm,
So if anything that happens to us as children up until the age of 7, we're a sponge,
mhm,
which is why they use that analogy: show me the child at 7 and I can show you the man. Because
mhm,
whatever you put into that child, they will come out the other end
mhm,
in with some of those behaviors.
mhm,
So that means if they're encouraged to do the education, they're
mhm,
encouraged from a language point of view, they will continue. If
mhm,
they're encouraged to have that imagination, to play imaginatively, they will continue
mhm,
within that vein. But if they grow up in a household whereby parent, guardian doesn't talk to them, they have to hustle for their own food, they're going to grow up thinking,
sad to say it does happen.
yeah, and that's the thing. We all have different paths from a growing up point of view, but it's beautiful when you can start to imprint so young. For
Mhm,
those children, their parents can't afford to get an extra teacher to help their child. They can't afford to pay for the extra studies that their
mhm,
child may need. But he's prepared to do it for those children, whereby when they then start school and they're
mhm,
going to school, they can do the reading, they can do the writing, they can do the math, they can do the basics, the maths, they can
mhm,
tell the time. I was having a conversation with my cousin that's going to come here to do the work, and his daughter is 7. So we
mhm,
was having that conversation in terms of telling the time. She said, "What time is it?" So I looked at the clock, and it's a good old-fashioned clock with long iron and shorthand.
mhm,
And I said, "So what time is it?" And she said, she didn't say. So he said she can tell the time if it's a digital, and I thought, oh.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry.
So then it got to a conversation whereby there's a clock in the house that just doesn't work. Change the batteries, done what I could do, it just doesn't work. And I literally did chuck it away. And I thought to myself, actually, why am I chucking away that clock? So I went to the bin and I got it out of the bin, cleaned it off, cleaned it down, because it has a long hand, it has a short hand, and it's got all the little 5 minutes, all of it worked out. So yesterday when she was here, we went down to and I was trying to work out, how do they teach the time back in the day? And you're thinking, okay, where's the long hand? Where's the short hand? Because they teach children differently. As they move on, they think, okay, there's a new way of teaching. And it was literally a case of remembering how to teach someone to read the time, like doing these shoelaces. So I've taken out when she plays with the Lego and she gets bored, we start on the clock, teaching the time. When she gets bored, we start on the numbers. When she gets bored, we start on writing. And do it as a game, do it as fun, and then move on. Do it as fun and move on. But it's just amazing that not every child has the opportunity. Well, it's not amazing, it's just a way of life, that not every child has the opportunity of having that additional extra studies that they need, that will give them the ability and the knowledge that they can carry through the rest of their life.
It's one of those things that we are very, very blessed to probably have experienced in our lifetime. You know? It's just the circumstances that we were born under, that we were nurtured, parented, and being able to get through that stage of our lives. You know, but just being appreciation of who we are, where we are, and what we can actually give to those who are less fortunate than what we are. You know? As you say, it's just circumstances that some people can and some people can't. Some people who literally have to go and forage for their food. Go to bush and find food in that way, and then there are those who just go to the supermarkets, and I saw life can be sometimes, and but in all, we all survive. We all look to survive, in whatever way we can, Anyhow, right. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to get yourself together, and then you can come to give us your presentation, this John, here as we reach the top of the hour. Okay.
Okay.
All right then. All right. Let me see what we have for you. Let me see. Here we go. Yes.
Everybody needs somebody. Everybody needs somebody to love, somebody to love, somebody to kiss, sweetheart to miss. And I need you. I need you in the morning, baby, in the night times too now. Oh, little girl, you came into my world. My thoughts were such, but ooh, I need you so much, baby. Everybody needs somebody. Everybody needs somebody to love. hard to breathe, and I need you, you, baby, 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 baby. In the morning I need you, baby, baby, baby. I need you so much. Need your tender touch. Can you hear me screaming from afar? Somebody help me from this height, don't wanna fall. But if I do, would you catch me? Now take the whole thing from beginning. Press rewind and things become revealing. With all the hit fancy lights and glamour. Autograph to please you, eager, yeah. You don't know what's up with me. Can't find food to feed my family. My life is like an open book. Turn a page, come take a look. Oh, walk a mile in my shoes, and you would feel what I'm feeling. From where I'm standing, things don't look too good. No, 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 no. Come and walk a mile in my shoes, and you would feel what I'm feeling. From where I'm standing, things don't look too good. No, 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 no. Gotta make a move real fast. Take my life to the future from the past. In my hands, I gotta take it slow. There are things I like to know. I've been mistreated oh so much. Sometimes I don't know how I carry on. You don't know, you never know. Never a sign to show. Come and walk a mile in my shoes, and you would feel what I'm feeling. From where I'm standing, things don't look too good. No, 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 no. If you walk a mile in my shoes, come walk a mile in my shoes. Not 2 mile, 3 mile, 4 mile, not 5 mile, 6 mile, 7 mile, not 8 mile, 9 mile, 10 mile, only 1 mile. Come walk a mile in my shoes. If you walk a mile in my shoes, yeah. Walk a mile in my shoes, and you would feel what I'm feeling. Where I'm standing, things don't look too good. No, 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 no. If you hear me screaming from afar, somebody help me from this height, don't wanna fall. But if I do, will you catch me? Now take the whole thing from beginning. Press rewind and things become revealing. We know the hits, fancy lights and glamour. But if you walk a mile in my shoes, you would feel what I'm feeling. Where I'm standing, things don't look too good. No, 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 no. Not 2 mile, 3 mile, 4 mile, not 5 mile, 6 mile, 7 mile, not 8 mile, 9 mile, 10 mile. Only walk a mile, come and walk a mile.
Yes, we're back again. We're back again on the Mind and Soul Connection on the Blacknificent Show here on the Galaxy of We.net. My sister Sandra, the floor
Greetings.
is.
Greetings. So I'm just literally going to start with my affirmation of the day, or one of the affirmations which I say, and that is, I am living on purpose and I am on schedule. So I know earlier on I was speaking with Brother Aston in terms of education, And last week I was speaking about this is Financial Literacy Month, and it's financial literacy across, whether it be in Jamaica, whether it be in Americas, whether it be in the UK. So what I'm looking at today, and I'm only just going to touch on it, was around that thing called debt. And some of that thought process in terms of becoming debt free. So we do know, and you may be one of those individuals. There's over 21 billion families are in personal debt. So there's over 21 billion families are in personal debt. And that's UK, but also within, there's over 2.1 billion families in personal debt in the UK. And the question is, why are we in debt? So we've got the finances and our financial industry and the way that they work. But the thing is that they've trained us to ask the wrong questions. So they've trained us or encouraged us that when we're talking and when they're talking about debt and we're purchasing something, we're asking questions such as, what's the interest rate? And we're also asking, what's the monthly repayment installments? And over here, they've got their big high street stores, and they do exactly the same thing. So it's not just a UK thing, it's a world thing in terms of asking the wrong questions. What are the interest rates? They talk about interest rates here, and they talk about the monthly repayments. And they encourage us to get excited by both of those two questions. Okay, it's a low interest rate, so then it must be, in terms of paying it back, it means then it's a lot easier to pay it back. But the question is actually, what we should be asking is, what is the total cost? So that means after you've added the charge for the interest, what is the total cost? After I've added, I'm going to be paying my repayments of £50 or £100 or whatever the amount is over the period. What is the total cost? And then the other question, you then think to yourself, when will I actually become debt free? When will I no longer owe you? So as long as the industry continues to keep us asking the wrong questions, we will continue to be focused on the wrong issues. And in being focused on the wrong issues, we will then be kept in that debt. We won't be able to come out of it. So I know from a credit union, I spoke about credit unions briefly last strong. The interest rate is favorable, and the date of becoming debt free and paying off your debt sooner, you have more of a, you're encouraged, have an opportunity without losing out, without being penalized. Let's use that word, penalized. How is it that I can pay a debt sooner and I'm penalized for it? Shouldn't you be happy? No, they're not happy. And the reason they're not happy is because they're not making money off of your money. That's the bit about debt, making money off of your money. So there are two types of debt. So we've got a fixed term, which there is a specific rate. There's a specific rate and there's a specific date. So it has a specific end date. So, and an example, and an easier and a quick example, if you're thinking about a fixed rate mortgage, 25 years mortgage, they're talking about 40-year mortgage. Wow. 30-year mortgage, 15-year mortgage, or a loan. You're purchasing that car. You want that car. Do you need that car? That's another question. But a 60-month personal loan. So it's a loan that's designed to be paid off in 60 months. Or you've got that revolving debt. So you've either got fixed or the revolving. What do we mean by revolving? We've got asked some of you, have some of you in the past lived off of your overdraft in your bank account? And if so, that's a revolving debt. Have you lived off of your credit cards? And at no point has it ever been 0, 0, 0, 0. I don't owe you, Mr. Halifax, Mr. Barkley. I don't owe none of you. Store cards, have they ever been 0, 0, 0, 0, or do you add something else to it? Do you ever pay it down? So the revolving debt is I don't pay it down. So it's almost like you go into that office, you go into that through that door, and you're forever moving and going around and around and around because it's a revolving debt. And you think that, yep, I've got control, but then you think, hang on a minute, how do I get out? How do I get out? How do I get out? So with those two different kinds of debt, there are solutions that you can use to become debt free. And some of those credit cards are keen to encourage you to think about, okay, let's consolidate all of those other credit cards and all the debts you have into one payment. So you consolidate. So you then have one fixed debt or a loan, and that in its theory can be used to free up some of that income. So you can consolidate. You can overpay. So if you do have some spare is the wrong word, but you've got some income, you've got some money that rather than you paying for a mobile phone with a data plan that you no longer use, when you took it out, it seemed logical and sensible, and it seemed, yep, I'm going to use that data plan because I'm ringing a whole load of people, I'm doing X, Y, Z. And over the years, you've worked out to yourself, you know what? I don't actually need that. I can go on the pay as you go. I can cancel that contract, which means I've got additional money. Rather than paying £30, I'm only paying 15. Because I'm a really good customer, they're giving me a deal. I've not got a new phone. I've not gone for the new phone package, which ties me into a contract. So I've got the extra £15. So I can overpay my credit card. I can overpay my fixed loan. I can overpay my mortgage. And then the other way of looking at it is with what you are in terms of looking at your debts and thinking about a solution. The first thing, and I actually went to the last thing in terms of what you do, the first thing you need to do is sit down and just, what are your debts? Have you actually done a budget? Do you actually know what's coming and going? Have you looked at it whereby on a daily basis you actually know, or you're aware, you're conscious of what you're spending? Now, if the answer to any of those questions is no, I don't know, I just see what's in the bottom of my pocket or see what's in the bank and I will spend it. till it's finished. If the answer to that is, I know what comes in, but I know where some of it goes. Some goes to the mortgage, some goes to the rent, some goes to the gas, electric, some goes to council tax, but you don't know where all of it goes. Some of it comes in and you think to yourself, why am I so broke? And it's not the end of the month. We're in the middle of the month. We're on the 13th. And why am I frightened to look at the bank statement? Why am I frightened when I go to the hole in the wall to look at what the numbers say? So if you don't, if you're in any of those categories, if I use the word emergency fund and you don't have one, and you're thinking, so what is an emergency? It's not going on a holiday. The emergency is going to be your car breaks down, your boiler breaks down. You're coming to the summertime, so you may not necessarily want to fix it straight away. There's a hole in that roof. There's an emergency. But do you have an emergency fund? If you've not looked at your budget, you don't know if you've got an emergency fund. Having that budget, and the first place I would say start with a budget. So you can work out who do you owe what to? And when is the date? At what date or what time potentially will you finish paying it off? With knowing that information and with knowing some of that information, you can then work out, hang on a minute, I've got extra money that I can actually put into my emergency fund. I can build up my emergency fund. So if anything does happen, I've got the money to put aside. Or you can think to yourself, I can overpay. Rather than just paying what's on the credit card, the amount that they ask to be paid to the penny, I can overpay. So one of the things that they do here in Jamaica, they encourage you to pay early, pay before the due date. If you pay after the due date, you're penalized. So a number of the utilities, if you pay after, they will charge you $200. Which you may think, okay, it's not a lot, but then if it's $200 every month, that's over $1,200 over the year, plus the potential that you may get disconnected and you then having to reconnect and all that. But it means then that money could have been put aside to do something else, to pay a bill, to cover or to add to a credit card payment. We need to be smart. We need to be smarter with our money. And having a budget gives you that opportunity to have that inside knowledge in relation to where you are, in terms of your financial situation, in terms of what do you want to do and or achieve. So what I would say is that, remember, when we're thinking about debt, ask different questions. Don't ask what you need to be thinking about and asking is, what is the total cost? Because that might actually encourage you or discourage you from going down the road that you're going down, because then it becomes a want rather than a need. You want that new mobile phone, the new number 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, whatever, whether it be Galaxy or whether it be iPhone. You want that, but do you actually need it? Once you've added the additional cost, what is the total cost? And as long as the industry, the financial industry, keeps us asking the wrong questions, we will be kept in debt. So I call upon you, Blacknificent family, to do two things. a budget so you know exactly where you are, and B, ask the right questions in order to either not get into debt or to help you to get out of debt even quicker, because then you've got this extra money that you can overpay on, whether it be a credit card, a store card, a loan, personal loan, or otherwise. So let's get smart with money, and let's be in a situation where money doesn't rule us, we rule the money. So that's my thought for the day from a debt point of view.
I better turn up the volume, it would be better. Wow. Hold on. Yeah. pressing the restart button.
Yes.
Pressing that restart button.
And you mentioned that this morning in terms of pressing the reset.
Exactly.
What do you do in terms of pressing the reset?
Mm-hmm.
We can, and these are what the Disneys and all of them type of things say. Oh, you've got to wave a magic wand.
Mm.
But in terms of you pressing your own reset button, what does it look like?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of preparation do you need to do? If you're looking to, as you said, go somewhere else, live somewhere else, do something else, what money do you have? How will you support yourself? How can you sustain yourself?
Mm-hmm.
What can you do to get yourself into a financially comfortable situation? Or at least you know what your spending is. There's no point in saying you're going to, like that lady, leave from Jamaica, go live in America, send money back to the family, but you still can't live because you end up getting yourself in debt because you live in a life that you're just not accustomed to.
Mm.
I said last week that if I ever won the lottery, I don't mark it, so that's why I say if I ever won the lottery, I would
Hold on,
have to get.
You're gonna have to say all that again, because it died out. Obviously, there was a little.
It's the birds. I can hear them singing beautifully.
No. The
last strong. I to the young lady who says that she's looking to go to America in order to make a better life for herself, so she can send money back for her children. Yada yada yada. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't know whether or not those children would prefer to have mother with me rather than have the money. That's another conversation. Because then now they're being looked after by another parent guardian who may not necessarily look after them as well as their mother would, choose to, want to, like to. But then we're going abroad in order to look for the riches when potentially the riches are here. So if you're pressing the reset button and you're looking at your finances are part of pressing that reset button.
Yeah.
And last strong, I spoke about winning the lottery, and I said, I can say if I ever won the lottery, because I don't mark the lottery, I'd need to think about how to manage that money.
Really?
Yeah, I'd have to think about how to manage that money because I'm not used to it.
It
So
goes
all of a sudden,
in one pocket and out the other.
well, it's not even that, because my perception is, all of a sudden you're going to get, depending on the amount, you're going to get friends, family, and strangers all wanting to write to you to become your bestest friend.
Yeah, they have big money plan.
Yes, they know. Yes,
planning your money.
yes, it's your money, and then you get cussed for not handing over your money that you've just. So my reasoning is, at every stage when we're talking about money, we need to understand it. Whether we're at the stage now where we are in debt, or we're at the stage where we're living in abundance, we have an overflow. We need to understand money. We need to understand the rules pertaining to money, and we need to understand there's only so much we need So once you've got past your state of abundance,
Mm.
then what are you going to do with the overflow?
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's what the lottery has. It gives you an overflow. So what are you going to do with it? There's only so many. You can only buy, as good as it is, you can buy one big house, but you can only be in one room at any given time. As good as it is, you can only buy one big house. You can buy 2 houses. You can buy 3 houses. You can buy 4, but you can only live in one, and you can only be in one room at any given time.
Mm.
You can go on holiday. You can travel first class, but you still need to land somewhere.
Mm.
What happens when you arrive? You stay in a hotel, but you got your big house back home.
Mm.
That's empty.
Okay.
So what are you doing? We got a caller.
No, I'm just looking now. I'll give out the number again. It's 0203 289 6504. And then we have the text line, which is 079 479 219 as well. So, if you want to come in the conversation, don't leave it to the last minute. I'm coming at it.
No, don't do that.
No.
Yes. If you're able to, if you're driving, pull over, get yourself safe. If you're in the office, you feel like a tea break. You feel like going and stretching your legs.
Yeah.
Rather than go to the water cooler, which they probably don't have in offices now, go take a leg stretch outside, and pick up the phone and give us a call. I'd love to engage with you, just in terms of your thought processes from a money point of view, from a preparation point of view, from a pressing the reset button point of view. What do all those things mean to you? What do they look like for you?
Exactly.
What's your experience?
I tell you, everybody need to review themselves every now and then, because everything's. Well, then again, as you will find out when you return, things have changed. Oh yes,
and that's the thing. We've been warned about the changes. To be fair, we've been warned about the changes. We've just not. It's only now it's caught up to our pockets and our standard and our way of living. But they've been dropping those little breadcrumbs. Little breadcrumbs such as the interest rates can't stay the point that they were. They're going to need to increase the gas, the electric, the
no,
it strikes.
They've done that already. They've done that. Everything.
Everything's gone up, and you think to yourself,
and everything has gone.
So, how do you then manage your money? What's your side hustle?
Exactly.
That's an interesting conversation. Do you have a side hustle?
Mm-hmm. Well, this is just it, because everybody, all of a sudden, all the wallets are closed, right?
Yeah.
So therefore, for you to move into that, you have to come with something absolutely unique. Now, certain people have found the back of their freezers. They found the back of their freezers in their fridge. You know what I mean? And that one tin that was dusty in the back of the thing, there's on it, and I wonder.
Rub it off, and what they do, they check and see what was the expiry date.
Yeah. Oh, it's still good. It's
still good. Yeah. Oh, it says 2022, and they think to themselves, well, what did they do before they had the dates on the tin?
Exactly.
Best before. Is it a best before? Is it a eat by date? What is it? And you start, can I risk it? Am I close to the throne?
Yeah. That's not so moldy now.
And the sad thing is, though, but we're laughing about that. But that means then that you have food in your fridge, freezer, and or cupboards that we're not consuming.
Exactly.
So then we're not recycling. We're not eating. We're going out and we're buying something that's ready-made, or we're going out and buying another tin of the same item that has a shelf life of 2026, and you're thinking, hang on a minute, I've now got 3. I can leave it in my cupboard for 3 years, but the one that I've had in my cupboard for the last 3 years, I've not touched. Why am I going to touch this one? Why am I not just doing that? And again, when we think about budgeting and we think about how much money do you have in your pocket? How much do you have to spend on your weekly groceries? Go and look at what you've currently got. Look at all the tins. Look at the sell by date. Look at best before date. Bring them to the front of the cupboard, and then do you actually need that tin, that item,
Well,
or can you do without?
The thing is that there's many of us who do probably fall into that category. You know, you buy spices and things like this, right? And you know, the date may overrun and other things because basically you're not using that amount of spice or whatever you're cooking, you know. But in many cases, obviously, you know, you have to be sensible about certain things, you know, how we store foods and prepare them and everything as well. So it's just one of those things. It's one of those things.
And I would say, yeah, we do need to be sensible. If we're looking at our belt and we're looking at tightening our belt, we need to think about the ways that we can do it, which are practical. The preparation, it comes back down to the preparation. We won't always be in this slump, economic slump. But how are you going to come out the other end?
Exactly.
Can you take advantage? It's another question of this economic slump.
Are you able to invest or anything like that?
Yeah.
Because like as things go up, they come down. As things come down, they will go back up. So, you know, but you just have to just get onto the right line to just make it move with you. And ready to leap on to the next line. Move off and everything on there, you know? Boy, oh boy. This is one conundrum, this life, you see.
But it's an interesting conundrum. We've all signed up for it. It's an interesting one. We've all come here for a purpose. And when you live your purpose, you don't work. You're not doing a day's work in your life. It's not called work. It's called you're just living in joy. Love, joy, and peace when you know what your purpose is. You jump out of bed. But under that same guise, it then gives you an opportunity of serving others, recognizing that part of our purpose is service. And it just gives us a different mindset of how we show up and what we're prepared to do in showing up. So this might be a good time. For me, I found the forced house arrest in the 2019, 2020, 2021 gave me an opportunity of doing that reset. Gave me an opportunity of feeding into myself and looking at because you said in terms of invest in self. Why not invest in self now? I know you talk about it on the lunar cycle or the monthly cycle. You look at the first day of the month and you do almost an inventory.
Yes. Actually, I should document that to be honest, because you know, it's been one of those things that has been very, very useful for me, and it sort of like chunks it down as well. Reality chunk down. You know? At least I know. Say, all right, then, well, this month is this, and what is that, and what I'm aiming for, and you know, so it all chunks it down for me. But like in every way, every month, there's some kind of movement. There's some kind of movement in one way or another, you know.
So I'm going to challenge you.
Oh gosh.
To keep a journal, because short pencil is better than a long memory. And as much as you say there's movement, you can then celebrate the movement because you can see where you've been to where you're now.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I would encourage you to keep that journal.
Right, then. I'll give out the call again for those who wish to call in or to even message in. You can actually message through the Facebook or the YouTube as well, right? which we are live on. What programs are we on there? We're on the Blacknificent show. Um, oh, on my day as well. Wow. And we're on the Blacknificent on the YouTube as well. Right, Blacknificent Radio Show on the YouTube as well as you know on the Galaxy for we.net, and also what else are we on? No, that's it. That's it for now. That's it for now. That's it for now. Um, yes, so you can call us on 0203 289 6504, and also you can text or WhatsApp us as a message on 079 47479219. Let me give you that number again: 079 47479219. Okay, so we are all there, and we're all waiting for you to come and come into our conversation. And we, as you said, with this month we're concentrating on our financial world situation, right? So that we can be more confident around our monies, basically facing up to what's happening with our monies and things. Where you are. If you're in the deficit, then you're in deficit. That's how it goes, right? If you're low, you're low, right? If you're ahead of the game, you're ahead of the game. You understand? But you got to know where you're there. Where's your starting point right now? Not from 5 years ago or 10 years ago, right? But where are you today? Today. And then you just say, right, and let's go now. Let's go.
Right? What happened to you in the past was a prep for your future. So don't do the head sticking in the sand. Don't do that ostrich move. That ostrich pose. Give yourself an opportunity. Give those around you an opportunity, and it may not be someone that you know. It could just be because of the choices that you make, you touch somebody else's life in a positive way because of the choices that you make.
Not true. Yeah. I don't know if you heard, but yesterday, unfortunately, we lost one of our icons, our musical icons, Jashaka. Right?
I did.
You did? Okay. Okay, it probably was announced on the news in some form over there, in some of the news items there.
So it wasn't announced on the news items, even though it may be because I was listening to the wrong stations. But if it's not announced as yet, I would imagine then that some of those stations will be announcing it today.
Yeah.
Because so. the music stations rather than the TVJ or those ones, I would imagine that they would announce it today. From a timing point of view.
Yeah. And so you know how we go on. As soon as something like that, we all jump on it, innit? And I'm not any different either. So so you can look forward to that as we hand over to the next pilot.
Okay.
When they arrive here in the studio. Right? And, so what else is happening for you, my sister? Do you have any events coming up?
So there, other than a book reading, but that's going to be at the end of April. That's the that's the end of April. I'll need to give you some details in relation to that. And that's going to I'll be reading out of my my story. So yeah, that'll be at the end of April. There aren't any that I've scheduled. Whilst I'll be in the UK, there'll be events that'll be happening that I will have an opportunity just of sharing my story, but having that conversation
You're going to join us live in the studio then?
I'm gonna join you live in the studio. I'm aiming to join you live in the studio,
Oh my
and
gosh.
I'm and I'm also aiming to join the sister at the Black Auntie Jean at the Black Cultural Market in person in May.
Oh wow!
So those are the two events.
So
There is
all your fan base them can come and see you there, sir.
yeah. There is another event that is happening, and that's but that's in America. Where again get an opportunity of meeting with and talking with Les Brown, James McNeil, and just having that conversation around the book and personal development.
There is a thing I would like to ask you, and it's well, it's just a question I want to ask. Les Brown, is he actually going to retire right now? Because like he was on another seminar series, and he mentioned, oh, this is going to be my last time I'm doing this or whatever, you know. So what is his situation?
He's battling, recovering from the cancer. So he's slowing down, but he's happiest when he's on stage. So that's what I said earlier on. I said, if you find your purpose, there's very little that's going to take you out. And for him, sitting at home and enjoying the profits of what he's done doesn't excite him. What excites him is being on stage. So he's spoken in the past in terms of taking a step back. But like I said, he gets so when you see him walking up to the stage, he looks like an old man. Someone of his stature who's been around for years and has poured into people for years and years, and he's just walking measured. I'll use that word rather than old man. He's walking measured with a bit more thought. When you see him on stage, he can do cartwheels. That's the difference in terms of the persona. So for me, as much as he says that he's slowing down, or this may be his last, when he's on stage, he gets a second, a third, and a fourth, and a fifth, and a 10th wind. So, you mentioned Jashaka. We lose our icons because none of us are here forever. So I would encourage anybody, don't put off till tomorrow what you can do today. If there's something that you want to do, something that you're called to do the preparation that you put yourself in a position in order to do it. So that means you can always look back, or your children will look back, or your grandchildren, or whoever you touch will look back and say, it's because of that person that I am where I am today. It's because they touched me. It's because of, and you can then hold on to, give someone else a baton in order to carry for you on your behalf. So, I'm just gonna take the opportunity in terms of meeting him again in America, and that'd be the first week of July.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
So that's the events that I've got, or things that I've got coming up.
So he's handing the baton to you then.
Whoa! There's some of the battons that I've taken from him in terms from a communication, from a storytelling, etc., etc. But he's handed a baton to thousands.
I know that. I know.
But there's only 2 times he's put his thoughts in words in terms of a book, and I'm part of the first anthology, and there's another one that's happening, and there are others that are part of that. So the first one, it's My Time, and the second one, it's the name will come to me in a minute. There's the second one that's about to be written. Next Level You is the next one.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Wow. Well, there you go. There you go. You see. You see. You see. So, as I say, Sister Sandra is a very accomplished uh, uh, author, author and contributor to that book there with Les Brown as well. So many of us are familiar with Les Brown in that way. So
Mm.
as I say, he was part of a seminar series that I was watching with
Mm.
Joseph McClendon. I don't,
Okay.
I don't know if you know him, but yeah,
Mm.
he was doing that with Joseph McClendon.
Mm.
So he was still offering the this may be my last time of teaching
Mm.
this fantastic works and everything.
Mm.
So
Mm.
you know, and
Mm.
I almost you know me, I'm doing other things as well. So
Mm. Mm.
you know,
Mm.
what is as even though I have some of it collated some of his works as well. So
Mm.
it's one of those. As you say, time is time, man. Time is time,
Mm.
and
Mm.
it's for us.
Mm.
It's for us to do our piece now as well, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. There are what we're all doing. We're like I said, we're here for a purpose. We're doing our prep, and we're handing over the baton. So
Mm,
how are we handing over the baton?
mm,
What are we doing from a prep point of view? What are
mm,
you reading? What are you looking into? How are you developing yourself?
mm,
What are your intentions?
mm, mm,
What are you thinking about? How are you feeding your mind, not just your body?
mm, mm, mm. Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. And yeah. So here on the Blacknificent Show, as we said, we always look to see what we can do and how we can improve in ourselves, right?
mhm,
Um, it's a personal journey. It's a time that we carve out that personal journey, and that is why, as we do direct most of our conversations for us to take it on a personal journey in preference to bringing in other elements into our conversation. But
mm,
at the same time, we're not dismissing anything that is happening out there within the world, right?
mm,
When it pertains to us as diasporians, Black African descendants, and
mm,
Africans as well. So,
mm,
like for us, we must be able to know thyself, develop thyself to the
mm,
extent of that we are fully 100% productive, right?
mm,
So, like, challenge yourself always, and
mm,
push yourself always, right? There are plenty of examples out here.
mm,
What's happening?
mm,
Actually,
mm.
I do want to play that if I got it still, if I have it still. Um, Let me see if I got it still. I'm not sure if I still got it. There was a TVJ. Where are we? Oh,
What a ray of hope
yeah,
segment.
yeah, yeah. I don't think I got it. Wait a minute. I just wanted to play it again, but let me see if I got it here. Yeah. Okay, give me a minute to find it. Oh, here we are.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. I have it. I have it. I have it.
You,
I have it here. This one here though is I
is there a
feel
date against it?
no, this one's 3 years ago, so
Okay.
it's not going to be that one. It's not going to be that one. I know that.
Okay.
I know that.
Okay.
Let me see.
Because I
Let me
know the
see.
last time when I was here in last year, was it last year or the year before?
Mm,
No, last year when I was here, there was a ray of hope where there was a young man who was a farmer. So he
hmm
would literally go out there and he had asked in the past for somewhere where he could do the farming,
hmm
and the government had given him a couple of more acres than what he was currently had in the area that he was living. And
hmm
before school, he would go down and he would plant, do what you need to do from a farming point of view. And
hmm
after school, he'd come back and he'd do the other half. to the point whereby he was reaping, and he's the next generation, feeding the local community.
And the thing is that's where it starts from. That's where it starts from, you know. Right?
Are you closer to pulling it up?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Wait a minute. This. Oh, come on now. Oh, here we go. This one here is about feeding the young children in Jamaica, right? So
This is why you feel tired after eating brown rice.
Hold on, let me just skip that piece, and there we go.
In this evening's edition of A Ray of Hope, we look at a St. Catherine-based school's attempt to ensure students from less fortunate households have school resources and meals when they attend school. Kian Morgan has that report.
Patricia McIntyre is a cook at the Spanish Town Primary School in
I
St.
did hear that.
Every morning she arrives at 5:15, puts on a
hear
pot
it.
by 5:30.
Yeah, I heard it, and I heard that article.
Warm meals are ready to be served. It's a breakfast program that ensures at least one meal for about 30 to 40 students every Monday to Wednesday.
So if the teachers come in one morning and they are unable to prepare breakfast before leaving, they are also catered to on the breakfast program.
But with the school operating on a shift system, what happens to students who arrive in the afternoon?
In the mornings, if some is left over, then we give them. If not, we give them bulla or bun and juice.
There's also a social welfare program.
Teachers within their environment will look and see students who are without anything to eat. They are referred to the vice principal, who gives them a ticket to go to the canteen to get something to eat. So all students are considered at all times.
Through the guidance department,
That's
students who
not
might not have
me
any
singing in the
shoes or
background, by the way.
uniform or things to have them ready for school, we prepare it free of cost for them.
Now, it costs $250,000 per term to fund the breakfast program. And currently, only the newly formed overseas-based School Alumni Association and a church ministry that uses the school on Sundays cover that expense. So the school has reached out to other partners and is trying to expand the program to 5 days a week.
We have popchoy, callaloo, cucumber, scallion, and as you can see, we have banana plant coming up.
We have also cleared a plot of land to plant some more bananas and plantains and pumpkin. As much as possible, the areas around the school that we can plant things, we're doing that. We have partnered with RADA, Jamaica Agricultural Society, and the 4-H, and they have been helping us with seedlings and planting suckers and banana suckers and other things for our farming project. All of this, we're going to channel this into the breakfast program because we want our children to be properly fed, and we know that there is a relationship between nutrition and learning.
With A Ray of Hope, I'm Kian Morgan. Ray of Hope.
Yes,
that was last week, so I heard that one as well.
Yes.
So there's two beautiful things I loved about that. Was that they'd set it up. What I didn't like was what they were feeding the children. But they're making a start. They're making a start.
Is whatever they can find.
No, what they were feeding them was a frankfurter in a bun.
Oh, yeah. The hot dog.
Yeah, the hot dog, and then for those in the afternoon, a bulla. And you're thinking, from a nutrition point of view, it's not ideal. But I love the fact that they're doing something. But do something rather than do nothing, and think about it. And then they're growing their own. So that means at some point, they may have shown the frankfurter today, but next week it's going to be the greens and the vegetables. It's going to be something else.
And as he was saying, they're preparing the land or the ground to actually bring some live foods as well. So,
yeah.
So at least they're moving in the right direction, anyhow.
Yes. And that's the beauty about it. It's just over £1,200, 1,200. £1,300 at today's rate, and that's per term. So they are again looking, but not all schools have that. So we have in the UK historically there'd be breakfast clubs, and parents will send their children to breakfast clubs. So and it's that same principle. And then as a parent, you pay a figure called X in order to your child to attend the breakfast club. So they recognize, regardless of where you are in the world, that children need to have a warm meal or some meal first thing in the morning, just to give them a start, because they're sponges. They want to learn, or they may choose to learn, or they love learning.
Any child, they need that nourishment just to develop anyway.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
And this is the same, because like even for me now, right? Supplements, you know, because obviously there's some children that they are malnourished. You know? They're not being able to eat enough or whatever. They go through their spurt growths and everything else. And that's, and I, you know, it has crossed my mind. Why is it that the governments, like even here in the UK, are not looking to supplement their dietaries? And you know what? It's their choice if they want to take it, right? But you know, I've done vitamin and mineral supplementations along with the meals, you know.
But isn't that so? If they're looking at the meals, isn't that where Jamie Oliver, and that's one of the things which was championing the healthy meals, the healthy lunchtime meals, to get rid of some of the fries and some of the other things which
exactly. And then some of the parents were still passing them fish and chips through the school.
Yes, and you think to yourself, that don't make sense.
Yeah.
You think to yourself, that just don't make sense.
You know what? Is each parent has their choice, right, of how they want to do things, right? But then again, some of these children are still ignorant certain their bodies as well. Habit and actual, right. Right then.
So I'm breaking up, or you're breaking up there. We've come to the top of the hour. Yeah.
Last minute now, you know.
Yeah. Well, for me, the last minute, I'll just say preparation. I would say press the reset button, and then pressing the reset button, look at your debts and look about taking your head out of the sand.
Okay, I hear you. I hear you. Definitely. All right then. Thank you once again for joining us on the Galaxy FOE, the Blacknificent show here on the galaxyfoe.net, here on the Mind and Soul Connection, right? And we look forward to linking up again with you. Oh yes,
definitely.
Actually, tomorrow morning.
Yep.
All right then.
Yep. That's the date.
Take a note, people. You see a champion there? Oh, all right then.
All right then. Stay blessed, family. Stay blessed.
Take care now.
All right.
It's true. It's true. It's true. I know it's true. Don't say we'll be together when you see my money. Don't say love is forever